In Trail County, and North Dakota State troopers are trying to figure out why it happened. They say a loaded truck left the road just west of Reynolds Saturday night, hit an approach into the ditch and caught fire.
The driver died at the scene. The Highway Patrol have not yet released the name of the victim. A pickup crash injured a man near Bagley in the Northern Valley, and the Minnesota State Patrol says alcohol was involved in that crash. They say the driver ran a stop sign near Shevlin in Clearwater County and then crashed at a T intersection.
The 42-year-old Montana man was taken to a Fargo hospital. Traffic is moving again on a section of eastbound I-94 in west central Minnesota after a semi-crash blocked the road. The interstate was closed for several hours yesterday between the Brandon-Garfield exits as emergency crews worked at that crash scene.
The semi was the only vehicle involved. Luckily, no one was hurt. We have a heads up for you if you're taking some roads in the metro this morning. A few traffic alerts, both of them starting today. This is a live look at 45th Street South in Fargo. Southbound traffic between 40th and 44th Avenue is down to 2 lanes. That closure is for utility work. It should be in place for about 2 weeks.
And in downtown Fargo, the westbound lane of NP Avenue will shut down between 10th and 11th Streets North as construction crews place a crane needed for work on a building in that area. The closure is just for 1 day.
It is now 6:52 on this Monday morning. Let's get a check of your forecast with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. We have conditions that are going to be on the quiet side as you step out the door. So aside from those projects that might slow down your commute, the weather won't be a problem. And we're looking at traffic moving along just fine here this morning. Just be aware that you may want to get that car started a little sooner to warm it up. And there might be a little frost on some of your windshields in those areas where we've dropped below freezing. Fargo, right at freezing at 32 degrees. We've got a light easterly wind right now at 7 miles per hour, but even that is making it feel a little chillier. So it feels like 26 when you step out the door right now. And in Moorhead, we're at 34 degrees. So right around that freezing range in the FM area. Sunrise happening at 8 o'clock. So getting darker and darker for that morning drive. Sunset also, again, getting earlier. In Grand Forks, looking pretty quiet as well. We're below freezing just by a degree at 31. Also a 7-mile-per-hour speed out of the east-southeast, and it feels like 24 degrees. So you're going to want to bundle up there too. We're looking at conditions that are going to be chilly throughout a good portion of the valley. There are some spots down into the 20s for your air temperature. So feeling a little bit chilly here to start off the day, but at least it's dry. We'll have that sun once it's up. We'll have some sunshine here today, but there will also be some clouds on the increase. We're between systems right now. Eventually, we will see those clouds from the next one rolling in and the winds increasing with that too as we head through the day today. So that'll be our first sign of our system to come midweek. Here's a look at that bus stop planner. Again, a little cooler out there for the kids this morning. 31, they'll want that extra layer. We'll be on the dry side today, so no need for that raincoat. This afternoon, not only will we be seeing temperatures around 50 degrees, which is right around average for this date, but also we'll see those increasing clouds and the wind too they'll want to be prepared for. Here's a look at our wind forecast. This morning, again, starting off pretty nice and quiet into the 5 to 15 mile per hour range. By noon recess, we're looking at some gusts into some 20s out of the southeast. And this afternoon, drive time, that's when we have some gusts around 30 or more. And it just keeps going up from there as we head into tonight. Winds increasing into Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be a blustery day. Here's a look at the week ahead. Tuesday, the wind increases, and then late we'll see that chance for some rain move in. Wednesday will be really rainy and on the cloudy side as well. Temperatures ranging from 40s in the morning to some 50s in the afternoon. Once that clears, we're quiet, but you can see our Halloween forecast here looking a little bit iffy here. We've got a chance for a couple of sprinkles or maybe a flurry or two, and cooler temperatures as well. But that's still a week away, hoping that we can make that change a little bit and have some milder weather for trick-or-treaters coming up for Halloween.
Yeah, let's hope. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Federal investigators are now on the scene of a deadly plane crash in northern Wisconsin that killed 2 people. It happened Saturday afternoon in Marengo. Officials say a 29-year-old man and 21-year-old woman were pronounced dead at the scene.
Both victims are from the town that it happened. A county coroner says they were the only people in that plane. Now, the aircraft hit a house. Luckily, no one inside that home was hurt. A Canadian man facing life in prison for the death of a Bismarck man 2 years ago has entered into a plea agreement that would send him to prison for 25 years. Earl Howard pleaded guilty Friday to murder, arson, and conspiracy in the death of Chad Ensel, whose body was found January 2nd, 2020 in a burned-out house. An autopsy showed that he died of a gunshot wound to the head.
Nikki Ensel is charged with conspiracy. She was the victim's wife. Authorities say she and Howard plotted the victim's death. The North Dakota Attorney General's office has subpoenaed a BISMARCK photography company that suddenly closed its doors earlier this month without refunding customers. The director of the Consumer Protection Division says investigators are looking for relevant documents from owner Jack Glosser.
The Attorney General's office also intends to schedule a court hearing where Glosser would have to answer questions under oath. Customers have now filed more than 500 complaints against that company. North Dakota's energy leaders are worried about the long-term preparedness for handling natural gas, and they're now seeking federal dollars to fund solutions before it becomes a bigger problem. The oil-to-gas ratio refers to how much oil is pulled from the ground compared to the amount of natural gas that's collected.
The North Dakota Pipeline Authority says the amount of natural gas has been steadily increasing, and there are predictions that gas collection will overtake crude oil within the next decade.
These are, again, significant numbers that the industry is working on and trying to wrap their head around. What does that mean from a solutions basis? We know that all things natural gas liquid, from a takeaway, we are nowhere near positioned for the long term.
Among the more than 100 requests for APRA dollars presented to the state legislature, there are more than $600 million in requests specifically for natural gas infrastructure. A North Dakota Army National Guard unit is back from the nation's capital and is starting a month-long break today. Governor Doug Burgum and members of North Dakota's congressional delegation welcomed back those 70 soldiers yesterday.
Returning service members were awarded 30 days off from duty to help readjust to family and work life. For one soldier, it was his 5th deployment, and he says traveling to keep peace is a way of life, but seeing his family again is exciting.
Those days traveling across country, you start getting this feeling that wells up inside of you of excitement, and it's overwhelming when you first see your kids after being gone for a year.
The Guard unit was responsible for helping with Capitol building security. The unit flies the Black Hawk helicopter. It was called up to transport personnel and light cargo within the National Capital Region.
Dr. Anthony Fauci says COVID vaccines for children between ages 5 and 11 will likely be available in the first half of November. FDA approval of Pfizer's dose application for children could come as early as this week.
A North Dakota college on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation is now offering an incentive for students to receive the coronavirus vaccine. Nuweta Hadassah Sanish College in Newtown is giving students $500 if they can verify that they're fully vaccinated. The college president says there's been a resurgence in the number of cases in the Fort Berthold area.
It's getting colder. That means HVAC workers are busy right now as people start turning on their furnaces. But there is something that you can do before you have to call them in and pay for a checkup. They say needing a clean filter is one of the most common issues this time of the year. Dirty filters restrict airflow. That can cause the furnace to shut off because it overheated.
If something's not working right, change your filter. Cycle your power on and off like you would with your computer before you call for service. But remember, any odd smells are an immediate red flag and a signal to leave the property. You should also know where the gas shutoff is.
Let's get the answer now to that question of the morning on Facebook. Our question today is 70% of people wish they knew more about this so they could really enjoy it.
The answer, wine. There's a few wine snobs out there, and then you think, wow, they really know what they're talking about. Maybe.
Well, I think to enjoy it, all it has to do is taste good.
You don't need to know anything more than that.
A bag, a box, or a bottle, whatever it is, pour me a glass. Remember, you can play along every day.
The Today Show at CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. We're live up-to-the-minute news and weather for you right now on the Fargo CW.
Seriously.